Hi there, it's September the 1st, and we're continuing our progress through Paul's second letter to the Corinthians, and we're in chapter 5, reading from verses 11 to verse 21. Paul is continuing this theme of seeing things from a heavenly, from godly perspective. And therefore he says the reason that they're doing what they're doing is not to try and commend themselves. They're not doing this out of some motive of making themselves look good. They're actually doing this because they are in awe of what God has done through Jesus, and they want as many people as possible to know about what God has done. So he says in that case, if it looks as if they're crazy, they're not crazy because they're trying to do things to be crazy. They're doing things because God is taking them in that direction. And they're not worried how they appear to people. They're not trying to gain people's favour in that sense, in a human way. They're seeking to please God. And so he says they don't see things themselves from a human perspective. They're not looking at people just as people, but they're looking at people as those for whom Jesus has died. And they say Jesus has died for all, and he offers life to all. And in fact, if anyone, Paul says, is in Christ, if anyone comes and takes part in this life that Jesus is offering, they are a new creation. Paul clearly teaches that new creation has begun with the resurrection of Jesus. And so when people come, when they receive the Spirit of Christ, when they receive new life in Christ, they are themselves made part of that new creation. So this is no longer a matter just of earthly perspectives. This actually brings us into the new life in God. And Paul says that what they're doing, even though it looks crazy sometimes, what they're doing is they're seeking for people to be reconciled to God, to come into this new life that Jesus is offering to all. And this, he says, is their ministry. The word in Greek is katalagi. They're seeking this exchange. It is really this wonderful sense of reconciliation that God offers, our sin for his righteousness, our failure for his success. All of these things God is offering us. And this is what Paul is saying that he wants to do. Because even though Jesus didn't know any sin, God made him to be sin for us so that we, through him, might be made in right standing with God. So this is what Paul is seeking to do. He's not worried about human perceptions of what he's doing. He's only concerned to follow God. May we also take that direction. May we also take that way of looking at things. May we see things from this heavenly perspective that sees already that we have begun this new creation when we follow Jesus. If anyone is in Jesus, the Messiah, he is a new creation. The old things have gone. All that is new has come. Have a very good September the 1st.